Mirembe swa. Wow. Mirembe te. Mirembe mia.
Since 2022, after her husband Uhuru Kenyatta's presidency came to an end, Margaret Kenyatta has chosen a life that many find both admirable and mysterious. Unlike most public figures who cling to relevance, she has walked into quietness, and yet her impact remains alive in the hearts of many. Before she became the First Lady, Margaret Kenyatta was known as a soft-spoken, humble woman.
This is an interesting one. How did I meet the First Lady? Well, when I met her, she wasn't the First Lady. She was just another wonderful, beautiful girl. Let me say that I first met her brother. Her brother and I were in school together, in secondary school together. And we became friends. And through him, I managed to meet his younger sister.
Born in 1964, she grew up in Nairobi as the daughter of Njuguna Gakuo, the former director of the Kenya Railways Corporation, and German-born Magdalena Gakuo. She studied at St. Andrew's School in Turi, one of Kenya's top institutions, and later pursued her education at Kenyatta University. Margaret met Uhuru Kenyatta in the 1980s, long before politics thrust them into the public eye. Their marriage was blessed with 3 children, Jomo, Ngina, and Jaba, and Margaret settled into family life. For many years, she lived privately, known as the supportive wife of Uhuru, who was steadily climbing in the political ladder. But her real story began in 2013 when Uhuru Kenyatta became the 4th president of Kenya. Overnight, Margaret transitioned into one of the most watched figures in the country, the First Lady of Kenya.
It's my pleasure to be here to celebrate this day with you. It's a special day dedicated to women and girls all over the world. This year's International Women's Day theme, Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow, resonates in so many ways with all our experiences as women. It speaks about the issues that affect our advance to.
When Margaret took office in 2013, many wondered how she would step into the shoes of Mama Lucy Kibaki, who was known for her strong personality and public presence. Margaret, however, chose a different path. She embraced humility, empathy, and service. Unlike her predecessors, she avoided political controversies and focused entirely on social causes. Her greatest contribution was the Beyond Zero campaign, launched in 2014. This initiative aimed to reduce maternal and child mortality by providing mobile clinics to underserved areas. Through Beyond Zero, thousands of mothers in rural Kenya accessed prenatal and postnatal care. Mobile clinics were dispatched to remote villages, ensuring that women didn't have to travel miles to deliver safely. The results were remarkable. Kenya saw an improvement in maternal health care, and Margaret won both national and international recognition. She was even named the UN in Kenya Person of the Year in 2014. But what touched Kenyans most wasn't the clinics, it was her personal involvement. Margaret laced up her running shoes, took part in marathons, and even trained alongside ordinary citizens to raise funds for Beyond Zero. In those moments, she was not just the First Lady, she was a mother fighting for the lives of other mothers. Margaret Kenyatta's style was quiet but impactful. She wasn't the kind to seek microphones or to deliver fiery speeches. Instead, her presence was defined by calm dignity. She rarely gave interviews, rarely appeared in the gossip columns, and never used her position for her self-promotion. For many, this was refreshing in a country where politics is loud and divisive. Her elegance, humility, and compassion made her a role model for women across Kenya and beyond. Unlike other first ladies in Africa who often join their husbands in political battles, Margaret carved her own lane, one rooted in healthcare, dignity, and service. When the Kenyatta family left Statehouse in September 2022, all eyes were on Margaret. Will she continue her advocacy? Will she remain in the public eye? But Margaret chose a different route. She retreated into privacy. At 60 years old, she has embraced a quieter rhythm of life. While Uhuru Kenyatta has continued to engage in politics, playing roles in peace negotiations and occasionally clashing with the new administration, Margaret has stayed away. Her rare appearances are usually at family functions or church events. She avoids media interviews and maintains a low profile. This has puzzled many Kenyans. Some argue that she could still use her influence to push Beyond Zero further. Others admire her decision, seeing it as a dignified exit from the noisy world of politics. For Margaret, however, silence seems intentional. After 10 years of carrying the symbolic weight of being First Lady, she may now be focusing on her family, her grandchildren, and her personal reflection. Even in silence, Margaret Kenyatta's legacy remains alive. Her legacy is not just about the clinic, but about reimagining what a First Lady can be. She showed that the role doesn't have to be political, it can be humanitarian. She taught that leadership can be quiet yet powerful, and she proved that sometimes dignity lies in stepping back rather than staying in the spotlight. As Kenya moves forward, comparisons between Margaret Kenyatta and her successor Rachel Ruto are inevitable. While Rachel has embraced a more religious and political role, Margaret's style was rooted in compassion and health advocacy. Both approaches highlight how the office of the First Lady can evolve depending on the woman who occupies it. Margaret Kenyatta may not dominate headline anymore, but her quiet choice speaks volumes about grace, humility, and deep understanding that life after power can be just as meaningful as life in power. As Kenya continues to evolve, her story will remain an important reminder that true service is not about position, but about impact. And for Margaret Kenyatta, her impact is etched not just in history books, but in the lives of the women and children whose futures she helped secure. Margaret Kenyatta's silence is not absence, it is presence expressed differently. Her legacy lives on, echoing the Beyond Zero campaign and through the dignity she brought to the office of First Lady. Sometimes the most powerful voice is the one that chooses when to speak and when to remain silent.
It's my pleasure to be here to celebrate this day with you. It's a special day dedicated to women and girls all over the world. This year's International Women's Day theme, Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow, resonates in so many ways with all our experiences as women. It speaks about the issues that affect our advance towards gender equality.